they probably have no fucking clue what they're doing.
That's right.
But so they're talking about comedy-wise, it's already on shaky ground because you're punching down.
Right, exactly.
You're like, I'm paying impoverished people $5 so I can laugh at them doing something horrible.
Right. That's
it's
awful.
like, it's already like, you're like, nope.
Welcome to episode 73 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter, and over there is Anthony at SummerSpeak. He is the dev.
I am.
I've
been doing a lot of dev.
I was going to say, you're doing a lot of dev stuff lately. The most played game on your Steam list is Space Tyrant, which just got an update.
It did. We're in beta, and we just put out an update, and then I've been hotfixing shit. Because that's what you do when you put out an update, and you're on a 5-person team, and you're like, oh, we've only tested this on our 5 computers. Hey, look it. There's hundreds of people playing it now on lots of different computers, and we're like, crap.
So other people's configurations are basically making things crash or bug out or whatever?
Bug out, mostly. I haven't had any crashes, but it definitely bug out, like graphical stuff that we're like, I have no clue why those ships aren't showing up for you. They're there, or don't know why they're transparent. Okay. What's your graphics card? Let's start digging into that. Why isn't your aliasing working? Things like that. So, fun times.
So who's the one that does the write-ups on the Steam page about, like, the notes, basically?
That would be Isaac in our office. He's
cool.
Basically a catch-all on... He doesn't code. He's the producer. He does some art. He keeps us in line, schedules, does testing.
And stuff.
Yeah, basically everything that doesn't fall to the dev and the art, he handles.
Cool.
So, yeah, he wrote the notes.
Well, it's nice to see so many updates. Like, it's pretty you guys are I mean, you know this, obviously. Active as shit.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we have a community of people playing, so we would like this game to be successful, and to be successful, you need to talk to these people, especially the early adopters who are in the beta and giving us good feedback. Any beta tester that gives us like actual good feedback, yeah, we'll talk to you.
Right.
We want to work with you, and if you're going to take the time for us, we'll take the time for you.
And this is contract work for you, right?
It is. But I get royalties though.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're part of the team, and this is leading to the next question was that this is a long-term thing for you, I guess.
Currently, yes. I mean, it's been a year so far, so
awesome.
It'll at least be getting this out. I don't know if there'll be another project with this company after that or not, but I want this project to be good because, I see royalties on how well this thing does. So,
right. Well, it's a fun.
That's good incentive.
Right. I mean, I played a little bit back in December. It's definitely a fun game.
It's way better now.
Is it? Okay, I should check it out again.
The update. Basically, one of the big things, we modified the meta game, so there's a lot of incentive and pressure on the missions.
Okay.
You don't want to lose a mission. You lose a mission, it's way more on the roguelike side of things. A weird mix of 4X and roguelike, but
right.
There's a lot more strategy to the metagame, and getting that stuff in place has made the actual playing a 4X game in it just have more consequence for your decisions there, and you like really want to pull out missions that you're like, oh, it looks like I might lose. I should really see if I can find a way not to lose. It'd be great if I could figure that out, instead of being like, I'll just bail. I'll try again.
Right.
It's like, no, you bail. You're done. Start over. So.
Well, it's good to see stakes. I think that
makes
people
helps.
more engaged. Yeah,
it does. And we're seeing people enjoying that more. We enjoyed ourselves quite a bit more. So
that's good. You better enjoy it. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for other people to enjoy it. I think artists
who are
really successful are making things that they enjoy, and then other people just happen to enjoy it too.
Exactly. I mean, with games work the same way. Like, you're making it, when it feels good to you. If it feels good to the team, you're like, good. That's step one.
Right.
If
Absolutely.
you notice something that you're like, that doesn't feel right, but we're going to put it out anyway, yeah, it's probably not a good thing to have in there.
Well, anyone who's listening can go check out this early access game, right?
It's not early access. We're not taking money.
For some
it
reason
is a beta. So they can go to spacetyrantgame.com and sign up for the beta on our page. And we basically weekly send out keys for anyone that's signed up right now.
Okay.
So this doesn't get you the game for free when the game does come out.
During the testing period.
But if you're a good beta player and give us feedback, and like good feedback, I deem good being you've played the game and thought about it and are telling us like, hey, there's weird bugs here, or balance seems off like this. Let me explain. Then there's a good chance you'll get a copy of the game when it comes out.
Right. Reward the people who are helping you out.
We will reward the people that help out. And you can get a cool little Space Tyrant pin, which I'll bring one down to you when I come see you.
Thank you. Space Tyrant, folks. Check it out. Speaking of games you can check out, just for fun, here is a game code for Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition on Steam. 42RE5 I6JEV20, I think that's a 0, MCE. So enjoy that. This episode 73, we talk about Switch, Nintendo Switch, and then more Switch. We've got some PewDiePie news.
We can just discuss that a bit.
Yeah, and this Netflix show that seems a little interesting. And let's see, what's the other thing we have here? Oh, The Legend of Zelda is getting a $20 expansion pass. So we're going to talk about all those things, but we're going to start with the fact that this week there's just a metric shit ton of Switch leaks, which basically came from some guy who bought a stolen Switch. Some distribution center in the U.S. had Switches go missing, basically. And this was one of them.
Yeah.
So they found out it was stolen because in his video he showed off the serial number, and Nintendo tracked it down to that distribution center, and they had apparently film of the guy stealing them. So he was terminated and has been turned over to the police. And this guy had to send the Switch back in.
Yeah.
So he's out his money. But there were some unboxing videos which I watched, and the UI and the setup, and lots of stuff about the Switch that we didn't know about has been known. So let's kind of dig into that. What stood out to you from the things that you saw?
So weirdly, watching like the UI video, like watching the whole setup, I feel like this is a part that goes unnoticed by a lot of people. The sounds are so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a simple thing that doesn't even matter, but every click to the next screen had like a pitch shift to it. So it felt like you were anticipating, like, what's next?
Right, like
where are we going?
Forward.
We're going forward. I don't know why, but I'm like, Nintendo nails that every time.
Right.
It's such a small detail, but this is when I'm looking at things. I'm like, wow, that has such good feedback. Overall, actually, the thing I'm like, I still want to know about Virtual Console, and this gave me nothing there.
Yeah, me too. People are like, why couldn't you just log on to the eStore and see if there's a Virtual Console? It's like, that update's probably not live. He couldn't do that.
No, I can't do anything. I bet the thing couldn't really do much of anything, really. I mean, just showed the menus. The menus look clean.
Yeah. That's the thing that stood out to me, is that everything looked clean, even like the setup screens. Like, it was just all clean.
It reminded me of like iPhone setup, Apple. Like,
right.
Just very only show the information that you need on the screen, nothing extra. Let's just step you through very easily, and which honestly shows a attention to detail, which is nice. I don't know. Beyond that, it's hard to tell. Like, the quality, like the controllers seem fine. Him using those.
It seems just so. It just seems like an adult's toy. It just seems very like the Wii U gamepad is kind of like a Fisher Price kind of looking thing, and this is very like techy. Like, it looks very clean. I was surprised at how small the Switch actually is. Like, it's just a little bigger than like an iPhone 7 Plus or 6 Plus or whatever the new. I think it's a 7 Plus. Avatars was cool. You can they're gonna have avatars kind of like you have on PSN with like Nintendo characters and stuff like that. And there was, I guess we'll get to that news later, but basically it's confirmed that your purchases are tied to your Nintendo ID.
Yep.
So if you're picking up a new Switch, you can probably re-download those titles, which has not been the case so far. With Wii U, you had to call back into Nintendo to authorize a new console to get those games downloaded to the new one.
Yeah.
And you're basically allowed to have one Wii U and one 3DS for your account. So hopefully that's changed. And eShop is confirmed day one, which I don't think there was much doubt of that.
Of course, it's there.
Yeah, they want you to buy the games.
But what's in it?
Yeah, right. What games are confirmed for launch?
I know we know that it's going to be the Switch games, but is there anything else?
Well, we heard that we're getting Shovel Knight before anyone else. The Switches, at least. The Torment. Spectre of Torment, or whatever it's called.
I'm pretty sure it's anything that you're going to get that could get retail Switch games plus some indie stuff.
Yeah.
But Wii games? Wii U games?
Right.
Maybe?
I sure hope so. I'm hoping that there was some news that the purchases you've made on your Wii U connected to your ID will carry forward, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be able to access them on the Wii or the Switch, but it's kind of like, your PlayStation Network ID has all of your digital purchases for PS3, even though you can't play them on the PS4, so it's good to know.
Yeah, but with them ending production of the Wii U, I can only imagine they're going to find a way to make those playable on the Switch.
I firmly believe that, because there are some gems on the Wii U that I don't think Nintendo wants to let die.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Xenoblade Chronicles X, Tokyo Mirage Session.
Yeah.
Those things have got to be coming to the Switch, because there's just, I don't know how much, if it's easy enough for third parties to port their games over to the Switch, I assume it's going to be easy for Nintendo to do that as well.
Yeah. And I feel like Nintendo themselves will probably help any company that has games like that are kind of were adored by a small number of fans.
Right.
They'll help those companies get them over. Sony does that. Microsoft does that.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping that game like Mario Kart that we know is getting ported over, the Deluxe Edition, I hope that it has additional DLC. Those DLC packs really gave Mario Kart 8 legs on the Wii U, so I'm hoping to see even more. Make it a platform, basically, on the Switch, so that would be nice. And I don't know, the games that are available on the eShop during the launch window, even the first couple of weeks, I'm really hoping that Snipper Clips is either a launch day title or soon after, because I want to play that game with you when you're down here.
Okay.
That game have you watched that game at all?
I haven't.
Oh man, you should check out Snipper Clips at some point. It looks pretty fun. What else from the?
Well, there was the teardown.
Oh right, yeah, we got the teardown. Basically had images of the battery, and the processor, which is a custom Tegra, the NVIDIA Tegra, I guess.
Yep, Tegra X1, but custom, and based on this Reddit thread from the pictures, like people are trying to figure out, based on text on the CPU GPU, like what exactly it is. But it still seems pretty up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And we're probably just going to have to wait until, I don't know,
Digital Foundry.
the third and Digital Foundry will tear one apart. And, at least I expect they will. They always do. But, I mean, it's basically what they've said. It's Tegra X1. It probably just has more memory, more bandwidth. But it's going to produce things like quality level of Breath of the Wild. So, I mean, that's a launch title, so you should expect in a couple of years you'll get stuff that looks even better than that.
Better, right, exactly.
So, I don't think Breath of the Wild looks bad.
No,
so.
And I think Nintendo gets away with it because it's so stylized.
Yeah.
Kind of like Windwaker Plus.
Yep.
Which is A-okay with me. Oh, by the way, did you see the Breath of the Wild trailer recut as Wind Waker graphics?
No.
Yeah, you should check that out after the show.
Okay, I will.
Look pretty cute. Yeah.
I am so sad I'm not going to get one of these at launch.
Sorry, man. They are. You get at least play it mine when you come down.
With the stuff that's going on or breaking around my house, there's no way.
Yeah, everything in your house seems
even possibly. I'm like, well, I'm coming to see you. That's primary. And I'm like, well, I get it. Didn't have to pay as much taxes this year as I thought I was going to have to. Well, can I swing it? No, my house has pretty much said no.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you don't get to buy any extra special things. You get to fix shit around your house.
Your house put its foot down.
It did.
Oh,
so
sorry, man.
And I appreciate. Take it back. I appreciate my house and living in my house. So I'll just have to probably wait until fall, probably
right.
August, September timeframe, maybe.
Well, I was thinking about, and I don't know if you're gonna want to do this, but you could, after you leave here, you could take my Wii U back up with you and get the Wii U version of Zelda.
I'd consider it.
Yeah, think about
I'll
it.
See. I'll it'll at least have a few weeks to figure out because I'll want to see when people pick up the Wii U version. I want to see what the comparison is, basically.
Right.
Is it still really good on the Wii U? If that is, and people are cool with it, sure. Yeah. If people are like, it's kind of low frame rate or something else is just horribly wrong, no.
You'll wait.
I'll wait until I have that, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of why I thought about maybe not asking you if you wanted to do that, because just waiting until the fall to have like the full version would be nice, but as long as you can avoid spoilers for that many months.
Yeah, I think I can, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, no, I really, looking at all these leaks makes me, I'm like, I do want one. This looks neat. Yeah. The portability of it looks really nice.
Yeah, I imagine myself playing it in portable mode more than TV mode.
Oh yeah, I totally would just be, I'm like, I could play it on my TV on the couch, but I could probably just, lay on the couch and play it with the TV off. And
right.
Just because it's way more comfortable.
Well, that's what the promise of the Wii U was, where I can actually take this thing anywhere in the house, actually.
Yeah.
Because the Wii U gamepad, I really can't. I can lay across my living room. That's about it. Which, for Windwaker HD this week, I played it on the gamepad, and it was just my levels of hype for the Switch plus the Zelda were such that I went back to the Wii U just to have that experience, and it was great. I mean, it's nice. Great. So the Switch is going to be better. So that's even, that's rad.
Yeah.
Something else that. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention about the leaks is the dearth of information from Nintendo itself. Like we're 2 weeks out basically. It's next Friday.
13 days? No, yeah. 12 days now.
Right. So Nintendo itself hasn't released any information about the UI, which in this day and age is a little weird. I know like we didn't get UI information for like the GameCube or whatever. But...
Yeah. I just don't think they put that as an important part that they're saying.
Yeah.
The Virtual Console is a big one.
Exactly.
Like what the Virtual Console / eShop. I mean, that's just a huge thing. People want to know.
Right.
Like, what can I buy? What can I play? Just
what gets poured over from, do I have to buy Mario 3 for like a, 7th time on the system?
Do I just, Mario 3, do I get Super Nintendo games? Do I get GameCube games?
It just...
Like...
It seems tailor-made for GameCube because you can put on new Joy-Cons. I can't imagine they're going to miss the opportunity to have GameCube-esque Joy-Cons to play like, Nintendo Virtual Console games for GameCube, like Mario Sunshine with the analog triggers and such.
Yeah.
A Melee. If they made like a Melee HD, I think that would be good.
Actually, I could see GameCube stuff coming in the fall.
When assuming that this is like a soft launch, basically, and that the fall is the real launch.
I could see they could do, like, Super Nintendo stuff, like your typical Virtual Console, but do GameCube in the fall as, like, a lead-in to Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Mario's coming out, so look at, you can now play GameCube and Mario Sunshine, and it'd be a good selling point around the holiday season.
Yeah, and I think if that's true, doing the launch in March makes sense because a lot of the diehard Nintendo fans who are going to buy it no matter what, you can get the consoles to them now so that there's more supply for everyone else in the fall.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you walked into a store like into March, April maybe, could you find one of these on a shelf?
If the NES Classic is any example, no. Yeah. Or the Wii, not the Wii U, but the Wii.
Right.
No. But who knows? Maybe.
And do you think that's
maybe
artificial?
They're producing it
On their part? Is it artificial or?
I don't think it's artificial on them.
Okay.
If anything, it's just they don't. I don't know what their capacity for manufacturing is.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And
I think they're going to manufacture as many as they possibly can. It just may not be enough.
Right.
I mean, you can't pre-order them anywhere anymore, so.
Right. Although, actually, there's going to be some online orders coming online from Costco.
Oh, okay.
Some leaks from people who are working at Costco that it's coming. Their system is being populated with a couple Wii U games. There's like a bundle for Wii U, damn it, Switch games.
I mean, yeah, because Costco always sells it as a bundle.
That's right. So I think you'll be able to find some there. Yeah, I keep thinking because I'm getting the gray ones, and I had pre-ordered the neon ones from Best Buy, which I canceled. I can just buy the neon Joy-Cons if I want the neon. I don't need to buy another Switch, obviously. But I'm gonna wait for. There's got to be some special edition Joy-Cons coming down the pipe. So
yeah,
gonna wait.
Definitely.
I want one with like an actual D-pad instead of those weird buttons. So
yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. I want to hear about Virtual Console. I need another Direct before this thing launches. Although I don't see what the point of them to even do that is, because we're already locked in with our pre-orders.
Yeah.
I don't know what it gains for them for doing it.
Just keep media coverage. Keep people talking.
Well, these leaks certainly help that.
Totally did. Yeah.
Oh man. Cool. So moving on to the news, still got some more Nintendo stuff to talk about. First one is the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Basically, it's getting a season pass for $20.
Yeah.
You want to kind of go over what's in the packs there?
Yeah. So what do we have? March 3rd, you get if you buy the pass, you get an expansion pass bonus, 3 new treasure chests, and it explains where you can where you find them in the game. Contains useful items, I say that in quotes, who knows, and exclusive in-game clothing. Okay. So basically you spend $20 and you're saying, here's basically they throw you a bone saying, thank you for giving us 20 extra bucks. Here's some basic things when you start playing the game.
Did you see what the clothing was in that?
No.
Okay, it's a Link gets a Nintendo Switch t-shirt. Which is hilarious if you're playing the Wii U version.
Yeah. And DLC Pack 1 in the summer adds a Cave of Trials challenge, a hard mode, an additional map feature, whatever that means. And then DLC Pack 2 in winter, a new story, new dungeon, and some more challenges.
So some people online were upset that, well, okay, always, but that the DLC Pack 1 has the hard mode, that there's no hard mode in the base game. And I'm not exactly sure that's what it's saying here, because it says new hard mode. Maybe there is a hard mode in the game and then they're adding a new one. I don't know. It doesn't really piss me off that much. I'm a fan of more content for good games, and this is a pretty good price, especially if that in the fall that new original story is meaty,
Yeah.
But there's so much to the game as it is right now, so.
I mean, this is part of it. Like, how much? What other games has Nintendo done in season passes for?
I don't know if you'd count the Smash Brothers for Wii U as a season pass, but they kept selling additional characters and packs.
But you couldn't just buy one pass and just get them all as they came out.
No. So Mario Kart 8 is the one that Mario Kart 8 and Hyrule Warriors both had season passes. Mario Kart 8, where you bought the pass, it was like $20, same thing, and it was just a ton of content. 16 new courses, several new characters.
Yeah.
And then Hyrule Warriors, you got a bunch of new characters and I think some new maps as well.
It makes sense. Like, they're doing it here.
And then,
I'm sure people are also bummed. They're like, oh god, a season pass. I'm like, well, it's this or pay $80 for a game.
Right, and it's
this is how people don't want to pay more than 60. Sorry.
That's always been my argument.
Games,
this is how
games actually probably need to cost more than. It's been $60 for.
Think about
console games have been $60 for a decade now.
Since PS3 started, right?
And Xbox 360.
Xbox 360, right?
60, and that's when they switched PC games got away with being 50 for a while longer, but they eventually moved to 60 in parity.
Well, and you look with inflation as well. Like they're doing things to eke more money out, and it's totally. I mean, it's almost like the mobile market where they're relying on the whales to kind of float the rest of the user base. It's the same thing.
And you also want to talk about, when we talked about GameStop last week, used game sales. Season passes are also a way to get money out of people who buy a used copy.
Oh, okay. I've always thought that makes a lot of sense. I've always thought about too, where if you know there's a season pass that you want for this game, like there's going to be new content for Zelda and Mario Kart, for the next year, year and a half, you're going to keep your copy and not sell it back to you.
It is total, like, keep people to keep their games, or if people buy used games, try to monetize them.
Right. I never even thought about that. That's an excellent point.
That's totally. EA did a whole thing with that on like Mass Effect 2. Had basically when you buy the game, it came with a code that was special DLC that if you sold the game, likely the person who originally had the game used that code. So if you want that content, you're going to have to still buy that content on a used copy. So in some ways, it is totally a reaction to used game sales as well.
The interesting thing about this pass, as opposed to the passes they've done in the past, you cannot buy any of these pieces separately, they're saying. They have to be all purchased together.
Yep. That is interesting, actually.
Yeah. And I think you're totally right. It's just the way they make it $80, because a lot of people are going to probably pick this up for $20. It's not that much. So instead of saying, people are saying, well, $60 for this huge thing and $20 for this small thing, like the price, the balance isn't really there. But it's really them saying it's $80 for all of this together.
Yes.
So, yeah, games should be more expensive. I know that sucks for people who are on budgets and can't.
Oh, I don't. I completely understand. I'm on budgets too, and I can't buy everything I want. But making them and have been in conversations where people are talking about this stuff and making these decisions. I understand why they're being made, and just especially the price of making AAA games. That's only gone up exponentially in the past decade.
Right. Well, and to think about how long they spent on this particular game.
It doesn't even actually matter of time as much. Like even games that are short, like take the turnaround for some of the Assassin's Creed games.
It's still a huge cost.
Yeah, sure, they gone, but they have over 1,000 people working on it. Think of the amount they have to pay 1,000 plus people to make a game in 2 years.
Right.
Like, it's going to cost money no matter what, and a lot of it, especially for more photorealistic or higher quality looking games. Like, you typically can't do those quickly, or you can't cut out the man hours really. So you either hire more people, or you take longer.
Right, and it's still basically the same cost. That makes sense.
Yep.
Next piece of Switch news was about eShop purchases. I think we mentioned this earlier, but they're going to be tied to your account, basically.
Finally.
Fucking hell. Finally. Like, this thing's a fucking portable device, so if you lose it on the bus and you need to buy a new Switch, like, you should be able to have access to your games.
Yeah.
So basically the fine print says your Nintendo account contains your Nintendo eShop purchase history and current balance. By relinking your Nintendo account after initializing a console, it will be possible to re-download any software or DLC purchased on that account.
Yep.
Freaking awesome. Like this, it kind of sucks to be so excited about this because this is like a no fucking brainer, but for Nintendo it really hasn't been.
Yeah, they're such a Japanese company when it comes to this stuff.
Everything, man. Everything that I have to keep reminding myself that they are just so Japanese.
Yeah, and you can say that Sony is too, but Sony has moved to the West as their primary market long before Nintendo has.
Right. Well, I feel like Nintendo needs to realize the West is their primary audience because they can sell, enough in Japan, but not enough to keep them afloat. And there's more sales here than anywhere else.
Oh yeah. So that's cool. Got this next little thing I hadn't seen that was
the dev kits.
The dev kits for $500.
Yeah,
that's so cheap.
Isn't that great?
It is so cheap.
Well, and the rumored price for the Wii U dev kit was $5,000. So Nintendo wants.
That's normal.
Yeah, right.
PS4 dev kits were $5,000. Mm-hmm. Xbox Ones were $5,000. $5,000 has been a pretty consistent That's how much you have to pay to get a dev kit. $500 puts this in the range of tons of indies picking those up.
This is definitely a smart move from Nintendo to just get their, get
Hell,
games.
$500 makes me go, I want a dev kit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if your dev kit could play like retail releases. I don't know.
No, dev kits can't do that.
Okay.
That's not how that. Usually, I'd be shocked if they let that, but no, dev kits can only play dev stuff.
Right.
They're very good about doing that. But man,
they're serious about third parties getting their stuff on the Switch.
Kind of want it.
Well, maybe your company can think about it.
That's true. I wonder if I can convince the dude to do Space Tyrant for Switch.
Yeah, I mean
it's Unity, and Unity is going to support Switch,
right.
So they already kind of do. So
I mean, if it's an easy, quote unquote easy, because I don't know what it takes. It's
not easy,
copy and paste,
easy
but
probably on a graphic standpoint. Like it's not pushing any boundaries there.
Right.
Control wise, that's questionable.
That's true, because it goes from keyboard and mouse to whatever the hell the Switch has.
Yeah.
Plus the Pro Controller and whatever other crazy things they have.
$500 though is incredibly aggressive on their part.
Yeah.
So good for them. They're gonna get a lot of indie content if they do that.
Right.
So
that's good for Nintendo players as well. So.
Yeah.
Devolver Digital had a tweet today that they're bringing a couple of their games over, and they'll hopefully be out this year. And it's just like Devolver Digital has a ton of really good indie games. So
yes,
good stuff. Hatoful Boyfriend hopefully is not the one they're thinking of. Maybe it'll be.
Of course, it will be though.
The Pigeon Dating Simulator.
Pigeon Dating Sim.
Oh, you want to go on to the next one about Netflix? Tell us about that
so
one.
This was out of. I think I originally wanted to talk about this last week. I don't know why we didn't. Netflix announced a Castlevania TV show. And this is a thing happening.
I think it's animated, right?
Is it?
I heard on a podcast that I was listening to that it's the same animation team that's working on X. I forget what X was, but it's another another Netflix animated series that's pretty well known. I can't remember what it is now, but that they said it's the same animation team, so it made me.
Okay.
They're under the assumption that this is an animated show. But I don't.
Okay.
From what we're looking at here, this article from Kotaku, no Gizmo.
When they originally didn't say it, the guy who was doing it talked about it on an Nick Animation podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. They don't specifically. I mean, I could see it being animated. That would probably be fine. Then Netflix does do some of their own animation. Voltron being one of the newer ones.
Oh yeah, it's animated.
Thumbs up.
So you watched the Voltron? You liked it?
I've watched both seasons of it.
Oh wow, okay.
And it's childish. It skews more to kids stuff than some of the other stuff, cartoon stuff that I've watched. But it builds. It has some great twists, especially for the characters.
Rated T for teen.
And the second season is actually just badass.
They don't tell us why.
Yeah, IGN here has it as being animated.
Okay.
So it's going
to that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. But I'm still this came out of the blue. I was not expecting Castlevania to be brought over to a TV show.
Well, it kind of makes sense on Konami's part. Like, they want to milk their IP for money. So, easier than making a game, I guess? I don't know.
They could make a good game again.
Please.
I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Just do a 2D. Come on, guys. 2D.
I wish...
The genre is called a Metroidvania for a reason. So
I wish Nintendo would do that with Metroid. Like, make a 2D Metroid. Like, make a 2D Mario. Make a like retro games are a thing, guys.
Yeah. When was the last 2D Castlevania? It's been a while, right?
On DS, right?
Well, yeah. There's the whole slew on
I thought the last
DS,
one was on DS.
Which would be really, really sad if that's how. There's Shadow, Lord of Shadows. Harmony of Despair in 2010, 2011. That was on 360 and PlayStation 3. I'm pretty sure that's the last Yeah, that was pretty much the last.
Yeah. I guess like the sales weren't. I mean, I think the games got progressively worse, but also the sales went down.
Yeah, I mean, well, the quality went down.
Yeah, right.
Like I can tell you, like the last ones that I played that I was like really enjoyed were back in 2005, 2006, which was the Dawn of Sorrow and Portrait of Ruin.
Yeah.
They were on the DS.
Right. Yeah, and those got re-released on the Wii U. I played Dawn of Sorrow a bit. I need to get back to Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
After I beat Super Metroid. Yeah, I'm in a holding pattern right now. After I beat whatever the last game I beat was Final Fantasy 15. I didn't want to start another big game before Horizon Zero Dawn.
You have couple big games coming.
Yeah, exactly. Horizon and Zelda. So I'm trying to clean up my backlog and beat games that I got halfway through or whatever. That might be Super Metroid. I think is probably next.
Yeah, it's just so for 2017. So we'll see it sometime this year.
Yeah.
We'll see the show.
Right.
So
I'm hoping it's tied with some other like I don't know Castlevania game releases. Like if you're,
you would think.
At least
but,
Konami's doing something on the Switch with Bomberman, so I'm hoping they're gonna trot out at least a remaster or repackaging of some Castlevania games.
You mean a Bomberman TV show?
I don't need to see no. I'm hoping for a feature-length film, Bomberman.
There you go.
Oh God. I was gonna make a really insensitive joke, but I'm glad I didn't. But that not joke that never happened leads into our next story, which is about this dude named PewDiePie, which is a YouTube personality that I've never watched or listened to. But
I've never listened to it, but you should. Well, yeah, he's like. Pretty sure he has one of the most subscribed channels on YouTube.
Apparently
53, 54 million.
Oh, is that all?
Users watch his stuff. Right. And, Walt Disney Company severed ties with him through they own Maker Studios, and they were going to be doing a show with his real name is Felix Kjellberg. Because, he's tried to make some very insensitive jokes, shock jokes, using anti-Semitism, Nazi imagery, things that Disney doesn't really ever want to be a part of. So they severed his ties, and then later YouTube severed their ties with him, and they were going to be doing a YouTube Red show with him, and they were like, nope, we're not going to be doing that anymore because we're not dealing with this. And of course he's kind of apologized but not really, and feeling like people are attacking him, and I'm like, well, you have to understand these companies don't want to be associated with people that do this shit.
Yeah, and so one of his statements was, I think it's important to say that I in no way supporting any kind of hateful attitudes. I make videos for my audience. I think of the content that I create as entertainment, not a place for any serious political commentary. I know my audience understands that, and that's why they come to my channel. This is not my intention. I understand these jokes are ultimately offensive. Like, he made that statement, but to basically lash out at the media for reporting on it and be more upset about that than,
And I get that, like, people are coming out, like, I'm sure he makes videos all the time. And if you take, like, his entire pool of videos, how many actually have anything like this in them?
Right.
Probably very small. But you know what? It's still there. And you have to imagine that there are people that are coming and watching his videos for the first time, and they see one of these videos as their first video for him.
Oh, and so
you have to just accept that, like, you don't really get to say, like, well, all the rest of them are fine. It's just this one. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter at that point.
Well, and I'm in that boat. Like, I watched one of the videos, and that's the first one that I ever saw of his, and I don't know. I don't.
And they're like, you're taking it out of context for everything he's done. I'm like, context doesn't really matter at this point.
Well, one of the top neo-Nazi websites, which I'm not going to name, went crazy with these videos and called themselves the #1 PewDiePie fan site. And this website is just disgusting.
Yeah.
So he knew what he was doing. He said it was satire and making jokes, but as we talked about off mic, basically, you have to be really good at satire to take on these huge controversial issues. Like, millions of people died because of anti-Semitism, and it's disgusting that it's making a comeback in this country and around the world. When I lived in
even when I lived in, back here in Seattle, the Belltown, there was an anti-Semitism thing where a dude went and shot up a Jewish place.
Yeah.
Can't even remember the name, in Seattle. Like, I don't know if anyone died, but you're like, what the hell? This is mid 2000s.
Well, when I lived in Ukraine from 05 to 07, there was like a neo-Nazi movement. There was a Hitler, like a neo-Nazi rally outside of my window, like down my street, goose-stepping and Hail Hitler and all this stuff. Swastikas on the walls, just a bunch of really bad stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a town where back during World War II, like, Jews are rounded up and killed. And so much so forgotten that there was a synagogue in town that has a Star of David all over it. It's clearly a synagogue, and when my wife and I were walking around town and we saw it, we asked someone next to us on the street, like, this synagogue here, like, do you know anything about the synagogue? They're like, that's not a synagogue, that's a hospital. We've never had a synagogue here. Like, you don't even know your own history. Like, it's the whitewashing of history and forgetting about those things kind of bring these things back, and then like to make jokes about it and to say that it's not serious. And even these comments from the president, like the president was getting a question from a Jewish reporter about anti-Semitism, and even the president didn't take it seriously in his response.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely with this, like, you want to talk about these subjects in comedy and make jokes, then you better feel like be confident in it, because if you, like PewDiePie did, if you're not good at it or don't do it in the right way, there's going to be blowback from it. Like, even if you do it well, you'll probably get some blowback.
Right.
But people that can pull off parody and satire well, you're just looking at South Park generally, some just older comedians I was thinking of, like George Carlin always did. Knew it as Sacha Baron Cohen with Borat and the whole thing. Like, they are kind of at the top of their game, and they know how to present these topics in a way that makes the audience have to self-reflect on the comedy. What PewDiePie here was not doing any of that.
Absolutely not.
He wasn't even trying to have that level of, like, attention to detail and attention to, like, being a true satire and parody.
No, I mean, one part of it is just like him looking at brown people holding up a sign that says "Death to all Jews" and just laughing at it. Like,
yeah, because he's like, I paid $5 for these people to hold up an awful sign.
Was he the one that had them do it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he just found that video. He actually had them do that?
I'm pretty sure he's the one who paid. He's the thing that said
the Fiverr thing.
Yeah. I'd have to look again, but I'm pretty sure that was him. Like, he was like, I'm going to pay $5 to see if this can actually be done.
Oh, well,
that's horrible. And he's like, because it's shock value. He's like,
yeah, absolutely. But that's fucking trash. Like, anyone who does
exactly
that is fucking trash.
It's punching down.
Right.
Like, awesome. I'm going to make these people who have no clue what they're really doing. They're just impoverished, wanting $5 so that they can actually, live and have some money.
Right.
To do something awful so me and my audience can laugh at them. It doesn't even start on solid ground as a joke. So, yeah, I am not shocked that Disney and YouTube want to completely part ways and be like, nope, we're out. And yeah, this is what, when you try to do stuff like this, call it a joke or anything, if you do it wrong, you're gonna have backlash, and corporate people that want to deal with you will not want to deal with you.
Right. So he was, you're absolutely right. He's the one, he paid these Fiverr funny guys, a pair of entrepreneurs in India that use Fiverr they make videos for people who pay them, and he paid them to do this anti-Semitic shit.
And I'm sure, like, he's got tons of followers on YouTube, so.
I mean, it's resonating with someone.
He'll continue along and do that, but it's probably a decently big hit that these other companies just won't won't deal with him.
Yeah,
so
it comes back to the idea of free speech. Like you are allowed to say whatever you want.
Yeah, and the government's not censoring him.
No, not
government's not coming in. There's no one in any part of the government saying you can't put this stuff up, you can't say this, you can't do this stuff for shock value, you can't do any. No, but a company can say, "Oh, we're not interested in working with you anymore."
Right, there are consequences.
There are consequences.
That's right.
And so it's probably hurting him in his wallet. So
yeah, I'm sure he has enough money to.
He's getting ad revenue money, sure, but
right.
He'd probably be making. Someone put it in perspective, like being paid from these other shows, probably was paying him a decent amount of money if they went through. So
yeah, and if he's smart with how he takes care of his money, like even if he doesn't make another penny the rest of his life, he's probably set.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll see if this dies down again or if it just. I'm kind of just surprised how much it just keeps going. This happened earlier in the week, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's not stopping. So
well, he's not exactly doing damage control in a way that would stop it. So
yeah, which maybe he doesn't want to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
because I mean, it's his subscriber count's going up. So
right,
which because all publicity is good publicity. So
it's unfortunately true. I think it all comes down to money, and
yeah,
he's definitely getting some. There are a number of anti-Semitic people kind of in the country or around the world, so he's definitely attracted their attention. So, yeah, he's not making any moves to distance himself.
No.
Yeah, so you can see where his real feelings are.
Yeah.
So last piece of news, the Strong Museum, which is a museum in Rochester, New York, I believe, which houses the DICE Awards exhibit, which has like the winners from the DICE Awards and standout stuff from the last 20 years of gaming history, I guess. Is going to have a Women in Games exhibit in 2018. And just really quickly here, it says, for many decades, women have played key roles in the design, production, manufacture, marketing, and writing of games, yet their history in the gaming industry is too little preserved and too often underappreciated. The Strong's Women in Games initiative will document and celebrate those crucial contributions. So kind of wanted to bring that into the news, let people know this is something that's going to be happening, and it's good. I think that all aspects of gaming history should be preserved in some way, so this is good to see.
And there was a lot of women involved in the early video games. I'm not really sure. It was interesting watching. I was going to find the article again that talked about how women were really involved in computer science and early programming, which led to games and stuff. But around the mid-70s, the amount of women in those fields just started dropping rapidly and moved away from being in the tech fields.
And I wonder if that's the response to harassment they were getting, or I think that there's pretty well documented in tech the harassment that women face and how hard.
Yeah, I mean that's now though.
Yeah, but I don't think.
And I don't know how it was back then.
I don't imagine it was. I mean,
I'm
speculating.
But I haven't heard any really major stories. Like the article didn't have a really strong reason. Women weren't pushed into tech in school much anymore around that time. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, society shifted in the late 60s, and to me, I'm like, well, that was the big feminist movement, but why would that? And then programs then would start not taking women into tech programs, or they chose not to go into computer science or any of those fields. I don't know. It's definitely this article. I wanted to dig deeper into it and figure out it's an odd thing to see it go away. And you see definitely through the 80s and 90s, the results of that being a much more male-oriented industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
With advertising and the games being made and stuff. So
yeah, Lara Croft and how she looked and the
or just look at ads through the 80s and 90s, and you're like, okay, those are insane ads. I can't believe those got printed.
Right.
Sweet. I understand why women want to be in this industry.
Exactly.
But it's cool that they're putting an exhibit. I probably will never make it to Rochester, New York anytime soon.
But I'm hoping there's some sort of e-exhibit
That'd be really cool.
Some way to experience it in that way.
Yeah. World. There's lots of neat stuff there. It seems like they do a lot there. And with DICE coming up, DICE is really cool. So, well, awesome. At least that's a positive note to go out on.
Yeah, no, it's following the shitty PewDiePie news.
Yeah. Yay. Women in
crap.
games. There's been some great ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I just closed my window. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the games that we're actually playing. So I'll have you start since I have nothing to look at right now.
Okay, so let's just start with we talked at the beginning about Space Tyrant. That's been what I've been playing most because my work life and game life merge together as I'm getting close to release.
Are you like the QA team?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to test stuff and play it. And
Yeah.
so a lot of times when you see me actually playing it on Steam and it's on,
Right.
it's actually me having it up in Unity.
Oh.
It's just we have all the stuff connected to Steam now, so when I hit play in Unity, so I'm testing things or coding, it just leaves it until I close Unity completely. I'm playing Space Tyrant.
Okay.
So it's hard to say anymore. It's not me playing a ton of my own. Probably Wednesday, Thursday this past week, I played a ton of it because that was like final testing before we pushed it out to people.
Right.
But anytime before, like the couple weeks before that, has just been me programming stuff, compiling it, playing it, making sure that works, realizing it doesn't work, or I broke something else, fixing that, continue, rinse and repeat over and over and over. So I've been playing a ton of that, my own game, really enjoying it. And then weirdly, on the days that I'm like super into that, my commutes are full of Fire Emblem Heroes. So much Fire Emblem Heroes.
I still am relishing this because when we talked about it before it came out, you're like, yeah, I'll probably play it for a week.
I check in every day,
Yeah.
play some games, go through my arena. I mean, it was a 1.5 experience event this weekend, so I was playing that. What are my guys at? I have... My highest level right now is 35. That's Lynn. And Takamui is 34. And then I have a Camilla at 32 and a Perry at 34. So, I've been playing a lot. Get my ass kicked in the arena some. Probably at a 2-to-1 ratio on win to loss in the arena right now. If I play intermediate, I can pretty much win every beginner I'm put up against. But intermediate ones are actually pretty challenging. And that's where I'm finding, like, it's easy to dismiss this game as not having depth. But when you play a hard arena battle, there's depth. There's so much freaking depth. The amount of decisions I'm making on how to approach fighting comparable arena teams is insane.
Man, you've got to play Awakening or Fates or Birthright or whatever.
I do.
Yeah, if you're liking that.
I am having a great time with Fire Emblem Heroes. Haven't pulled anybody new. That's great.
I keep pulling a lot of 4-star characters right now.
That's good. Like the last two pulls I did, I've done them out of this new, the Family Bonds thing. I've gotten only like 2 4 stars, and the rest have been 3 stars.
Okay.
I've been pretty crap overall.
Yeah, I keep getting. I've played this as well too, so I'll just talk about what I've been playing. I just keep pulling 4 stars, and I finally pulled a healer. I was like, is there a healer in this game? Like,
yes.
So I finally got a healer, but I've got a ton of really good characters that are 4-star and a couple 5-star characters, but they're all like level 1. So I need to, like, I guess, advance them through the story or arenas or something to raise their
just
level.
do the training.
Oh, the training. Okay, that's true.
Because the training gets you badges, which you need to use whenever you use feathers to up their star rating.
Right. Yeah, I've got a couple characters finally to level 20. Like my original team, I have a Leo who's 5-star. I have Effie who's 4-star, I think. No. Leo's 4-star. Effie's 5-star. And then 2 other, I don't know, just kind of random characters that, you know, they're the ones I had first, so that's who I ran with, my main team, and I'm realizing now they're not that great. So I need to go back to...
I've been leveling up some other people. Yeah. Like Perry right now is totally... She's only a 4-star, but I just needed a better blue character So I got her, and I was like, she's a better blue character. So I've leveled her up from 1 to... I do recommend... So if you're in the game and you go to the quests and missions tab, there's a little icon up in the right-hand corner that flashes sometimes.
So from homepage and then quests.
Homepage.
Okay.
Quests and missions. It's
which one's
the fountain at the bottom.
Oh, the fountain. Okay. You mean
then
yeah.
You see the little flashing icon in the upper right?
Right. That's where you get the My Nintendo coins or whatever.
Yeah. Have you done those?
Yeah.
The missions. So you can collect all those.
Right.
I didn't know about that for quite a while.
Oh, really?
No, not until sometime middle of next week, and I was like, oh, I can get 10 free orbs. And I can use my points to get universal crystals and universal shards, which allows me to level up my characters immediately.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's totally awesome, and I recommend.
Yeah, because I used some of those coins to get the Twilight Princess Picross for 3DS.
Yeah.
I think that's what I use them for. Or is this only in game?
This is only in this game, but if you go to the My Nintendo website,
yeah,
you can redeem any kind of coins.
Yeah, okay, that's what I use. I use those coins to get the because I don't know what the hell I'd use these shards for. I don't really.
Leveling characters.
Okay.
So you can go to the level up on an ally. You can select an ally that you want. You can, from leveling 1 to 20, uses shards. 20, anything over 20 to whatever level you want is using crystals.
I see.
It's the color that they are is the crystals they use, or there's these universal crystals that can be used for anybody.
Okay.
So that's how I quick leveled someone to 20.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm just be like, get to 20, and then I can level you the rest of the way.
Oh, that's good news. That's good to know. Because I can... Oh, what? I can level my Marth from level 5 to level 16 immediately.
Yes.
I had no idea. Well, thank you.
You can use some currency to shorten the pain.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
It's free to play. It totally is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm still playing it. Play it every day, usually on my commutes.
It is something about it that just sucks you in, man. Like, it is...
It totally does.
I usually do, like, leveling up kind of the, I don't know, the quote-unquote easy stuff, just auto-battle.
Oh, yeah, totally now.
But I'm still trying to get the friends tab where, like, I can never, like, hit the greet button to greet anyone, but you always come in and give me stuff. Do I come in your game and give you stuff?
Yeah. So I usually don't even go to that tab anymore. Usually on your home screen.
Yeah.
Once a day, you'll see a character come in from one of your friends, and they'll have, like, hearts around them.
Right.
That's how you accept greetings from people.
Right. But how do I initiate a greeting? It's just automatic.
There should be another one on their screen that might have hearts as well, one of your team members, and you tap them and it sends out greetings.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So if you're on your home screen and you're touching those guys that have the hearts floating, you're doing that stuff already.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. This has got some meat to the bones.
It really does.
Did you do the paralog stuff?
I did. I did all of that.
Really
I did it through Lunatic, actually.
Yeah. That's the one I did all normal, I did all hard, and I've beat one Lunatic.
So I'm on Lunatic. So on story, I have to beat 9-5 hard. I still can't do that.
Okay.
But I've already started on Lunatic stuff on the story maps as well. So got to get my orbs on one other 5 characters.
Well, and once you get through the story for normal, hard, and Lunatic, once you've done it the first time, you don't get orbs the second time through, right?
No, you don't.
Yeah, okay. So this is kind of like letting you know, here's some free orbs, and now you want more
orbs.
This
is the way to get free orbs, and they'll probably do more special events of paralogs and
okay.
Any of the special maps. So like they've done the 2 so far that are what are they? The launch celebration ones, part 1 and part 2, where it was like 2 maps to get orbs. Like you think you got 3 orbs on each of these. So yeah, I think they'll do more stuff like that. I mean, free-to-play games live on giving out that type of currency. Yeah. You never want it to go dry. So when one event ends, they'll probably start another to keep the trickle coming.
I can't believe I only have one archer out of like 35 characters. One archer.
For me, I could care less about archers anymore.
Oh, okay.
I got the best one.
Oh, yeah. You lucky bastard.
I am a lucky bastard. I'm like, and I see why everyone hates this character. He's so powerful. So powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I have him completely skilled up. So it doesn't matter if you attack him. If you attack him at range, I shoot you. You attack me close, I still shoot you.
Right.
Because he can counterattack no matter what, and he does so much damage. Yeah, I hate going up against other Takumis in the arena.
Right.
I see why I'm just like, God, this is annoying. Yeah, I got super lucky on my pool that gave me Takumi and Lin.
Yeah.
That was in the same pool.
That's crazy.
2 5 stars.
I keep getting lucky. I just keep getting 4 stars. Like it must be some sort of. I mean, the 4 stars are what, like 30% chance, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
And like I said, I've gotten shit in the last
so,
3 pulls. Like I got my lucky ones, and now I'm just kind of sitting here.
You got the good stuff. My good stuff was a 5-star Robin and a 5-star Marth. So
Robin's really good.
Because
I will tell you that Takumi goes down to casters really hard.
Yeah.
Like they do a lot of counterattack damage to him. So.
Well, it's crazy how faithful it is to the games itself. Like Takumi in Birthright was like the strongest character you had. Like he was really good. So.
There we go.
Yeah. Maybe
now that we've talked about that game
you're playing something else too.
I am. I spent about 2.5, 3 hours today playing Final Fantasy VII.
Nice. On what platform?
PS4.
Okay, so you got like the 3x speed kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I use that not all the time, but I'll use it at times. Mm-hmm. You wanted information on how you get past the sandworm?
Yes.
Catch a chocobo.
No, I did.
And you still got? Because I was on a chocobo and I ran across the thing twice and never got attacked.
Huh. Okay.
I just was on the chocobo and there's a mine, a little dot on the other side.
Yep.
I guess the worm was. I did see the shadow at one point. It was farther off to my side. It never even came at me.
Okay, so the goal is just to avoid that worm then.
Yeah, just run across.
Okay, because I'll try that, because when I go in there, it initiates that battle with the worm, and then you get destroyed.
Yeah, don't fight the worm. Just go past.
Okay,
run past it.
I feel like when I ran past it, I came back out where I started, which was weird.
So you just need to run. I don't know what direction. West. Yeah, run west.
That's right.
And there's the mithril mine.
Yep.
At the other end, you'll just get to that. I do recommend once you get to it, and once you eventually dismount your chocobo to go into the cave, save before going into the cave. I got a hard crash at the other end of the cave.
Oh, okay.
Game's crashed a couple times on me actually when I play.
Right.
It's weird. I don't know. But I'd forgotten how much of a pain in the ass it is to catch a chocobo. Oh my god.
Yeah, it took me quite a while to finally get it.
Crap.
It really kind of sucked.
There's a lot where I'm remembering this game where I'm like, man, I had so much more patience when I was a teenager.
Right.
Because, there are some really awkward controls in this game, and just awkward things you have to do. That isn't taking away from my enjoyment in the game. It's mostly more of a wow, games have come a long way.
Yeah, and
especially in control.
And I want to really. I mean, I'm kind of into Final Fantasy now after playing 15, but this is such a seminal game that I really want to get through it. But there are some places it's just like, what the fuck is happening? And the chocobo thing was one of them where I was like, fuck this.
Oh yeah, they are not nice. They're like, oh, okay. Well, I don't have the money, so I need to go grind to get a bunch of money so I can get the
green
materia. Oh, I need greens now. I guess I'll go grind more money.
Yeah.
I'll buy a bunch of greens. Is that enough greens? No, that's not enough greens. Buy more greens.
Well, the thing that kept happening to me was that I don't know why it was happening, but I would throw the greens at the chocobo, and it wouldn't stay long enough for me to beat the other guys to then get the chocobo. So I'd wasted the greens and it ran away, and it was just like, oh my god. No,
it totally did that, and I realized I basically had to have one character just constantly throwing greens.
Oh, so you have to do it more than once.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it only lasts a certain amount of time.
Oh, okay, that was my problem.
So I just actually ground it. I did a couple lower level greens, and I then just ground up a bunch of money so I could get 3 of the 1,500 Gil. Green's like the top line of the line ones.
Right.
And those last quite a bit longer.
Okay, that was my
So I was
problem.
like, throw that one. It took me 2. I was just like, no, I'm making sure that this thing never leaves.
Now
Cool.
I get it. Okay.
Done.
Okay.
But yeah, that was annoying.
Well, I have it saved right now where I'm on a chocobo, like before doing that sand pit thing.
Yeah,
So
just run across.
okay,
You'll
I'll probably
come out the other side. I recommend on the other side, before you go to the city it wants you to go to, on the other side of the mine, there's like forests on the map. Run around in those, and you will get a random encounter eventually for Yuffie. And you need to beat her, and then you can do some. Do you want to look online for the choices you need to make in conversation with her to have her join your party?
Okay.
She's one of the extra characters you can recruit.
Okay, I'll look that up. UFFI.
UYUFFIE.
Okay.
Yuffie.
Okay. Cool. I'll check that out.
There's a trophy attached to it as well. So
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll
if
go.
you're playing on PS4,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
am.
what you're playing on.
No, I'm playing PS4. I will try to do that tonight, actually. Then.
Because oh god.
Yeah.
But I'm through the next major part. I got my first summon. Finally. Stop there. My son loves it. He just wants to watch it.
Really?
He can even he can read some of it.
Okay,
So
that's cool.
I ask him if he understands. He's like, I kind of do. He keeps on thinking Sephiroth is a girl.
Because of the
I
hair.
correct him multiple times, and he's like, he'll like seconds later go like, why is she bad? Like, what does she want? I'm like, he's like, but he looks like a girl, and I'm like, well, yeah, he's effeminate. It's true.
Let's talk about gender fluidity.
Oh
man.
Let's talk about Japanese character design.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people thought Link was feminine in the new game.
Yeah, it's really with Sephiroth. It's just the very long white hair.
Yeah,
gets him. Like,
that makes sense.
It totally does. It's just amusing to me every time. But that's what I've been playing this week.
So for me, obviously the Fire Emblem Heroes, which I've never played. I don't play mobile games that much. Played a few this year. Monument Valley. I played some Lara Croft Go, Mario Run. So I've put way more time into Fire Emblem Heroes than all the other ones combined. And I haven't put a dime into it. I haven't bought any orbs or anything like that.
Yeah,
I probably will just to like throw it some money because I think it deserves it.
I think their prices are just too.
They're too high.
They're too high for me to actually feel comfortable throwing the money. Like, what is it? Orbs are. So let's say I just wanted to buy a pool.
Like 20, basically.
I would 20 orbs. The closest you can get is 23 for $13. Or you could you could do 210 orbs for 12.
That's true, yeah. Or 13.
So it's still $12
for
12,
you're right.
Potential for 5 random characters.
Right.
Just, I don't know. It's too much for me.
I'm waiting for them to do like a sale. I imagine there's going to be like a 20% off sale or something like that eventually. And that's when I'll probably do it. Because you're right. You're basically just doing it to pull 5. Because once I pull 1, I do the whole. I save up 20 orbs and I do the whole.
There's been a couple times where I've decided not to.
Because of the colors that are left?
Like, it was one time whenever I had 3 red and 2 colorless. And I already have Lyn as my red, and I have Takumi as my colorless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I want greens and blues right now more than anything. So if I don't get any greens or blues on there, I'm out. I just spend the 5 and I back out.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Because
easier to.
Which is also a great free-to-play method because you always have to pay 5 to just see.
So right.
They're just draining 5 orbs from people just to see. So,
time into that, and then I beat Final Fantasy 15, which was it was a 42-hour endeavor, and I basically was facing 2 weeks before the next game, and I was like, what game could I play that's short-ish that I could beat in 2 weeks? Because I've kind of gotten onto a kick now where I'm actually sticking with games to beat them, which is like unheard of for me. It's really, it's happening, which is nice. So I decided to go back and play games that I had dug some time into but didn't finish. And my Switch hype was pretty high, so I decided to go back to Windwaker HD, which I played 2 years ago and got to the Triforce quest and basically threw my Wii U gamepad on the ground and said, fuck this, I'm not doing this. Which is crazy because when I went back to it, I beat the Triforce quest in like an hour. Because I only had like 3 left. I did like that labyrinth thing, like 20 levels to get the Triforce piece, and then 2 other really easy ones. I had already done the Ghost Ship one, which was the easiest or the hardest one for me. And then like the Ganon thing, where you go and you face like the 4 monsters again. It was all easy. Like it was really easy. Beating Ganon was the whole rest of the game was easy. Like it took me probably 3 hours total that I could have done 2 hours ago, or 2 years ago. But damn, that game holds up. That game is just beautiful. And we had talked about how you kind of discovered all the treasure and all the map pieces.
Yeah.
I think I did like 25% of that game. Like I finished with 11 heart pieces, or 11 hearts containers, when you could have 20, I think it is. So yeah, it's just, I really want to play that game again. I kind of hope that it comes to the Switch. God, that's a good game, but I have it on the Wii U anyways.
Yeah.
So I beat that, and then that went quicker than I thought. So I was asking myself, well, what other games do I have? What's on my backlog that I've been meaning to beat? And the next one was Ratchet and Clank PS4. I'd gotten halfway through that, and then for some reason stopped. Gaming ADD or whatever. So I came back to it and put another, I think, 7 hours into it and beat it.
Wow.
I don't know if you played the original on PS.
I never beat it. I played some of it though. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I ended up beating on PS4, and it's such a fun game. Like it looks like a Pixar movie. It has an HDR mode, so it looks even
nice.
It looks even better. Plays really well. All the weapons are really crazy. They do a lot, like Pixelator or like the Groovatron, like dancing around. I don't know if those weapons were in the original one or not.
I don't even remember.
But that was just such a fun experience, just fun gameplay, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed my time with it, and I'm glad that I went back to it. Kind of enjoying coming back to these games and realizing that I stopped playing them just because I had ADD, not because they weren't good games.
Yeah.
So the last one I went to was Rise of the Tomb Raider. I picked it back up on Friday and beat it on Saturday. And it's just as good as it was before. There's so much to do. It's so dense. And I think I put like 8 hours into that as well. And it was crazy because last night I was like, I have like an hour and a half left. I'm going to play it tonight. Started at 10 o'clock, finished at 2 a.m. because I severely misjudged how long it was going to take. And man, there are 2 final boss scenes that were just stupid. Like the game is great, but the final 2 bosses, one you're taking down a helicopter, and it has some weird mechanic where it throws like a trebuchet throws a fireball over the thing, and you have to shoot the fireball for it to rain down fire on the thing, and then you face waves of enemies. It's just tedious. And then the final enemy, you basically stealth attack him twice and he's dead, and then that's the game. Spoiler, I guess, but the rest of the game is gorgeous and fun. Like the gameplay, people compare it, I guess there's the Uncharted versus Tomb Raider thing going on.
Yeah.
Story sucks. Uncharted story is way better, but I actually like the gameplay in Tomb Raider better than Uncharted. It's less about tearing people up with guns, and it's more like bow play, and the upgrade system is fun, and just the traversal is just a lot better than the kind of climb-a-thon you get with Uncharted.
Yeah.
So if you ever get a chance to play Rise of the Tomb Raider, it's a fun game.
Okay.
And those are the games I played this week, and I'm going to jump into Orwell because we've got that conversation in 2 weeks. I haven't started that yet, and I guess I'll do some Final Fantasy VII. And I think I'm probably going to do the Mortal Kombat campaign because I got halfway through that and didn't finish it either. What quote unquote campaign,
It's a campaign.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat X. So I'm just really digging through games that I got halfway through just to kind of like knock off these games and get them on the
bide your
list.
time.
Yeah, basically. I have 1 week. I pre-ordered the deluxe edition of Horizon, and it comes out next Tuesday. And actually, the review embargo lifts tonight at 12, so in 2 hours.
I have to be very careful.
You do, yeah.
I don't want the story really spoiled too much. I want to. All the positive stuff I've seen on it has been very much they're just like how much the game enthralls them and charms them. So I don't really want that spoiled.
Right.
Because it sounds like it just kind of, at the beginning, just kind of gradually overtakes you and going like, oh, there's actually a lot here to take in story-wise and gameplay-wise. That I feel like approaching it without much prior knowledge will help.
Yeah, and for some reason, spoilers don't bother me that much, so it doesn't really affect my enjoyment of the game. I
like this one because I just don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah, right.
I think, because I usually don't care about spoilers at all. This is one where I'm just like, I actually don't. I know that the world setting is, but
right.
I don't actually know what the story is going to be about.
Right.
And people are saying that the story is actually good, so I'm like, okay, well, surprise me then.
Right. Yeah, and then, something like The Witcher, where I didn't know a damn thing about it other than people said it was amazing. It ended up being that way, so I totally agree with that. But I've watched probably 3 hours of Let's Plays where I don't really know what the story is from that, just them running around and doing gameplay. And that's what really sold me on doing the pre-order, because it just looks like a mix of games that I love playing. So
yeah. Oh God.
But I don't.
Week from Tuesday.
Tuesday, and then that
can
Friday.
Do that.
And then that Friday is Zelda, and so I have like 3 days with Horizon. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Tough life, I know. First world problems.
So bad. 2 awesome games.
Yep.
Within days of each other. Oh my God.
This is a crazy Q1. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
I haven't followed games forever, but it seems like I thought
this is
Q1
a good one.
was kind of quiet, but this is a good one. Like, I think you've got some Game of the Year nominees right here in the first 3 months.
I feel like every few years you get a good Q1. Just kind of goes in cycles. So this is just one of the Q1s where a lot of games land in it now.
Right.
Because I doubt next year Q1's going to be like this. You'll probably have a couple of years of more quiet Q1s again.
Well, and this is a Q1 where you have 2 of the main... Well, actually, you know what? 3 of them. That were all delayed into it. Like
yeah.
Zelda, Horizon, and Mass Effect all weren't supposed to be in this quarter, so that's crazy.
So, yeah, it is. All right, so close. So a few days left.
Yeah, I'll try not to share my... Oh, no, we're playing Horizon at the same time, so we can talk
about we'll be fine.
We'll do a Horizon
Zelda,
discussion.
you can do...
Yeah.
Fun. I'm, like, less worried about huge spoilers in that. Gameplay, I don't mind being spoiled on any of that, but it's mostly like mystery of Link and Zelda's connection and Hyrule. Like, I know there's going to be some weird stuff there. So.
Yeah. The thing that I don't want to be spoiled on is if at all Zelda is playable.
Yeah.
I want to find that out. I don't want to know. So I'm going to go. I mean, it's weird because I'm not a person who grew up like loving Zelda like you or my friend Brad or even Travis. I just feel like I've come to it late, but it's really good. Oh my God.
The good Zelda games are really good.
Yeah. I mean, I think I mentioned to you, but something I'm trying to do before it comes out is play an hour of different Zelda games. Obviously, Windwaker I've just beat, but I put an hour into Ocarina on the 3DS. I'm going to put an hour into the Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 on my NES Classic. I got Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess to put an hour into, and I just want to kind of compare the grammar of those games.
Link to the Past. You need an hour of Link to the Past.
Oh, and Link to the Past. I don't have that, but I'm going to buy it because I need to beat it.
You can get that on the Virtual Console,
That's
right?
right. Yeah, on the Wii Virtual.
Yeah, you should
get it.
Totally play. That's just me because it is my favorite of all of them.
Well, and
I love Link to the Past.
And you played what the hell is that new one called that we beat on 3DS?
Link Between Worlds.
That's it. Yeah. So it's.
I mean, it's a great successor to A Link to the Past, but A Link to the Past still.
Oh yeah.
Holds up to me as the best Zelda game.
Right.
God, I love Link to the Past.
Well, I'm definitely going to check it out, and I'm going to try to do like a little podcast and just kind of compare my thoughts on all those things before Breath of the Wild comes out. Yeah, so to finish up the podcast, this is a long one, but I'm thankful for you sticking with us through it all. We're talking about the TV we've been watching. We'll probably just do this real quickly. Basically, I put this in the show notes just so I could talk about This Is Us from NBC.
Okay.
Which, have you heard of this game? Have you heard of this show?
No.
Okay, so I consider it like a mainstream show. It's basically about set up with flashbacks and like modern day where there's this family who had triplets. There's something with the triplets I'm not going to say that makes it a unique story, and that goes between like their story when the kids were born and when the kids were kids to the kids as adults. And it's my wife got turned on to it and then wanted me to watch it because just the storytelling, she thought I would enjoy it. And every single episode I'm bawling. Like the show is just so well written and so like touching and moving, and just there hasn't been one bad line, one bad misplaced word. It is like some of the best writing in terms of emotions that I've seen on TV, and it's something that I don't feel like I'm not usually a fan of like the kind of mainstream NBC, ABC TV shows or whatever. They're kind of, except for some of the comedies like The Office or Parks and Rec, are kind of just throwaways to me.
Yeah.
But this,
I'm looking at the writer. Who he
Fogelman,
is?
Dan Fogelman.
Fogelman. I mean, he wrote He was a writer on Cars. He's written some really bad movies, but some good ones. Tangled. He wrote Tangled.
Huh.
But Cars 2, he's a Pixar guy, looks like.
Dude, oh my god, that makes so much more sense now.
I mean, he definitely has not some great writing credits in movie land, but he definitely is part of the Pixar crew.
You know those moments in the Pixar movies where like, think of like Inside Out or whatever, like that moment where you're crying at that one. It's that every episode.
Okay.
And it's just like, if you're looking for a show maybe to watch with your wife, that's just really well told, but not, just like like a mainstream story. It's not like sci-fi or fantasy or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, give it a couple episodes. It's stunningly good. So don't let the Cars or Cars 2 credits really throw you off.
No, it's fine. It's just interesting because they totally. I mean, one of his movies he's writing is Tangled, and I think Tangled is one of my favorite modern day Disney movies.
Yeah.
We watched that one a couple times. My daughter loves it. So, and it is an incredibly well written.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it too.
Did you watch Tangled?
Yeah.
Yeah, like out of the ones like Frozen and stuff, I actually like Tangled more, like from a story standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so does my daughter. She gravitated to Tangled far more.
That's great.
But I mean, it's mostly just looking at the pedigree of this dude. Came from a Pixar, Disney background as a writer.
Well, and this show also, I think, is because I'm going to be a father, and it deals a lot with like parenthood and having kids, and it's just like the waterworks, man. Like, holy crap! Like, there's the penultimate episode that's released right now. At least, like, there was like a 5-second scene at the end that just like took me by surprise, and I just started bawling like crazy. And
welcome to parenthood,
dude. Seriously, like you mentioned,
it just hits you, it blindsides it, and you're just like,
"That's right."
Oh, here it comes.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, what you were watching at least The Expanse?
I am.
Yeah.
And we're getting very close to the end of the first book. It's getting really good.
Wait, the first book is still being dealt with in season 2?
Yes, they didn't finish it in season 1.
Oh, okay.
They got about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the story of the first book in the first season. Like, definitely this is a show where I felt like the first season was slower, but it was definitely a slow burn, very slow burn, so they could get to this season, like, where the stakes feel a lot more real now because the characters have been so well defined for the first, because of the just taking their time in the first season.
Right.
Because they moved a character forward from the second book. Avasarala.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the first season.
Okay.
They like show her, like they start building her character in the first season on Earth and like her political stuff that she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that you have, it just builds her character, but
like context
it builds
for her later.
Context for her, but it puts a face to Earth, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So all these factions, you start feeling like, oh, I feel the stakes are raised because I actually know a character and care about a character in that faction. So as things start getting all twisted, especially in the second season, you actually have faces and reasons to care. So, do you care about spoilers?
No, not at all.
So, the last episode was where Eros just moved and missed the Nauvoo just missed it.
Right.
So that's where we are.
Okay.
So probably next season is the Eros shooting towards Earth.
Uh-huh.
Next episode is Eros shooting towards Earth.
Right.
So all the stakes are there. Miller is on Eros. He's going to go talk with Julie, the ghost of Julie, do that whole thing.
Right.
And I feel like the next part of season 2, because the season 2 is going to still have another like 10 episodes, 10 episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling they're just going to do the rest of book 2.
So they're speeding things up then.
Yeah, I think they're shortening book 2. Like, they don't need to spend as much time in book 2. So I think it will still get to the end of season 2 will be the end of book 2. But they're expanding book 1 a bit to...
I'm kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
To just give you more context for the characters.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go like the Game of Thrones route where it's like a book a season kind of thing.
I thought they were going to do that, but
yeah.
Clearly they're not interested in having to stick directly to that. So
yeah, that guess makes sense.
And I feel it's good.
I feel like the I don't know, Game of Thrones, each book in the Song of Ice and Fire series kind of is a little cleaner maybe than the books in The Expanse. So
they get a little bit as Expanse goes, because you didn't. How many have you read?
3.
They get a little bit like 4, 5, and 6. Well, 5 and 6 are really close. Don't really have a clean separation.
Yeah.
But 4 definitely had a clean separation.
Well, I guess to be fair, neither does A Feast for Crows or Dance with Dragons.
Yeah.
So
they get there at some point. Like, so I mean, I've been watching that. I've been really looking forward to that. Like every week right now. Watching Star Wars Rebels. Mostly, it's animated Star Wars thing, but it's.
I heard the story is really good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Again, the first season starts out a little bit on the kiddie side, but as you get through that and towards the end of the first season into second, now third, it gets really good storytelling.
Where are you watching that on? Or did you buy them?
I have seasons 1 and 2,
okay.
And then I'm bad. I'm downloading 3 because I don't have Disney XD, but I buy the Blu-rays when they come out.
Right.
Because you can't actually buy it anywhere else, as far as I know. Like, I don't know if I can just buy it on iTunes or anywhere. Disney is very... Disney animated shows are kind of hard that way. They don't tend to stream them that much.
Well, it's weird seeing Disney animated films on Netflix now.
Oh, yeah. Watched Zootopia a while ago.
Yeah, us too. We watched Zootopia, and then Finding Dory just popped up on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good. If you haven't seen it.
I was glad to watch Zootopia.
Yeah.
That was very perfect for our current state of the world.
Yes, absolutely.
I was like, wow, this is fitting.
You had a good story. Maybe more people should watch this, like I don't know,
Yes.
PewDiePie and Milo Yana.
Let's talk about
whatever his name is.
Asshole. That's what he is.
Yeah, basically.
Actually looks like a Rob Thomas cosplayer.
What the fuck? What?
I saw a picture of him and I was like, he looks like Rob Thomas, like someone cosplaying Rob Thomas from like 90s Matchbox 20. That's the first thing that came into my head. It was on his when he was on Bill Maher. Like, they had a picture and I was like, oh, that's what he looks like.
Apparently there's some big issue with him today saying that 13-year-olds should be able to have sexual relations with adults.
Sure. Okay.
We're jumping the shark.
Part of me feels like he's just going to say whatever to say to get people's reactions.
No, that's his whole fucking MO. So. Yeah,
so I'm just like, no, okay. And that only works so far, because eventually you just got to say such stupid things.
Yeah.
That, back to, watching Rebels. And am I watching anything? I'm trying to think of anything else I'm watching consistently right now. No, there's a couple Netflix shows. I wanted to kind of watch The Crown on Netflix.
Have you watched any of it yet?
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, me too.
And it was good.
Yeah.
Like, I just have to be in the right mood for that. Amazon has Z.
Oh yeah.
Which I've kind of been interested in. I still need to get through the start the second season of Man in the High Castle. Again, it's just a little too close to home.
I was gonna say, I feel like we're living through that. Like
that's basically why I can't watch it. I'm just like,
I can't do
I really want to see the U.S. controlled by Nazis? Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather spend my time fighting the Nazis that are in charge of the U.S. right now.
So.
No,
but that's
right.
stuff that's on my radar that I'm like, I want to watch that. But.
Yeah, cool. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's so much good stuff. My wife and I are usually watching the shows together, so we have to find ones that we like to watch together. So The Expanse, for example, is something I'd watch on my own, and I'm trying to find time. When I'm by myself, I'm usually playing games or reading. So
yeah, no, I completely understand.
Yeah. Well, thanks for doing episode 73 with me, Anthony.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone else for listening as well. Lots of Switch news, lots of crazy stuff this week, and next week. Will be like the pre-Horizon Zero Dawn hype.
Totally.
Yeah, so hopefully there'll be the reviews out tonight. I will at least be reading them. I know you'll be.
I'll probably
picking
skim
and choosing.
them.
Yeah,
right. Well, cool. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. And
all right.
Remember, Anthony is at Summer Speak, and I'm at Prof Plays Games. Thanks for joining joining us this week. We will see you next week.
Yay! Good night, everyone.
All right, folks. Good night.